Hi, and welcome to Creating Connections. My name is Nin Jin. This is going to be the reintroduction episode where I tell you more about myself because we have a lot of new listeners, which I am so grateful for. Thank you so much. Say hello when you join. Leave a comment, connect with me on social media, wherever you found me. So I will be telling you a lot more about myself. If this is the first time you've ever been introduced to me, my name is pronounced Nin, like ninja, properly pronounced Ning, but Nin is just so much easier. And we discovered that when I was in third grade. I that's what I recall anyway. That might not even be the right memory. But my whole life consists of my family, business, just having fun, connecting with others. And these days it's focusing on my podcast, which I've had so much joy in doing. Now, I will say that the format of things will be changing as I bring on more guests, really incredible people that I continue to meet on a regular basis, which is super awesome because my digital business life is really intertwining with my local community life. And I get to see and meet people regularly who I didn't used to before. And then all of my digital friends will be communicating and sharing their stories on this podcast. So I'll be highlighting so many more of those people. Sometimes it will just be me. But the things that I bring to the table are generally my personal experiences, how I have found things to make life and parenting and business and creativity something that's just easier, something that happens on a regular basis, just to be able to make us more human, feel more grounded, and feel more successful in our daily lives. So, in today's episode, I do want to share a little bit more about myself, why I'm doing this, and hopefully it connects with who you are and who is listening. So, I found out recently that most of my listeners are from the US, which totally makes sense. I'm from Houston, Texas. But what I found out was the demographic was more in like the 45 to 55 range, majority women. Hey, I'm a woman. I love supporting and empowering other women as well. But just as humans, the foundational truths in how to live a happy and grounded life, it applies to all of us. But the 45 to 55 really surprised me. I want to give you guys a shout out because the majority of the in their 40s and 50s women that I know are so set and have found success in their lives in a way that I'm hoping that I'll really get to. They've explored, but they've landed. They know who they are, they're confident in their delivery, and even if they are making a career path or a life path transfer in a transition, making those changes, they're honest about it. They're transparent about it. Sometimes they step away, but they come back to share. And most of the time, they've really blossomed. And I think what's really awesome about that is we can visit those stories and learn from that and see that no matter what we go through, we can come out on the other side. And most of the time, it's we do it so well. We can process it so much better than we ever expect. And I love being created. I love being connected to you. And I really appreciate you being a part of this process and this journey with me. One of the things that I do want to bring to the table is parenting. A lot of my listeners, a lot of my audience are parents, as am I. I have three children, and that process is not always easy and fun. As you know, there are struggles. But every single day, every single aspect is a lesson. I think just the reminder that every moment and situation is just within that moment and it doesn't define who we are as parents, it doesn't define our children as individuals. It's just those simple moments and how we navigate and coordinate ourselves after that, who we choose to be and what our actions are during hard times or hard moments or even celebratory moments. How do we handle ourselves? Are we humble about things? Do we actually take the time to celebrate? So, parenting is a big aspect of my life. So, I'll be communicating that as well as having those conversations with guests that I bring on. Marketing, I absolutely love marketing. To me, marketing is just connecting people to what they care about. And that's what I love to do. I love to connect with people and identify what they care about, but also how does that make me more human to understand your story? And then when you learn my story, what does that say about you? right? Like, and that to me is just really fun and exploring that and getting into the deeper aspects of who we are and what makes us all unique. Business, I love business. So many people have podcasts on business, and I could do the same, except I love all the other aspects of life. So business is just so much more than just operating a brick and mortar or having a digital hustle. There are so many things that come into that, and we'll have people who specialize in different aspects of business come in to talk about different things. Like the finance aspect, the awareness aspect, the success. How do we find and identify those aspects? And that has a lot to do with your mindset. Mindset is just the overall sphere of all of this. So all encompassing. So I'll be talking about mindset for sure. Community and connection. I mean, all of this, everything I talk about has to do with community and connection. I mean, just me talking to you in itself is a connection, and you are a part of my community as I am yours, as we learn more about each other. And the last thing that I really do find super important that makes us who we are, that a lot of us have lost the connection to, is creativity. I think, and I fully believe, as children, we are little bubbles that are just floating, looking to learn and explore, and we're allowed to explore, and people encourage us to explore, and they're like, yes, your art is great, I love what you're creating, do all of those things, try new things, and go play. As we get older, we get more self-conscious, we get more critical of ourselves, and people around us are more critical. We are more constrained to how we can behave and act, and then we get developed into the human that we are today. And unfortunately, a lot of that creativity leaves us because we tend to have these conversations that say, I'm not a creative, or that's not something that I do, that's not something that I know or that I'm good at. But the truth is, the reality is, we are all creative. We are all creators of certain things and things in our lives that make us different from other individuals. But it all starts with every single creative decision that you make. When you get up out of bed in the morning, the next choice that you make is a creative choice, dependent on how you chose to live your life. And it's a matter of how you choose to view it. But for me, it's like creativity is everywhere, and it's for every human, and we all have it inside us. So that's something that I will bring up a lot. And I think the difference between this conversation and my podcast and other podcasts is I really do want to connect with those creators and those creatives that you don't get to hear too much from. I haven't personally, because I've been in the digital business space. And so it's just really exploring and making those connections that I have not made yet. And so hopefully, whenever you see all of these different stories come together, all of these experiences, you find within yourself the creative light, the spirit, the joy, the happiness, all of the things that make life so fun and enjoyable. I hope you find that on the episodes that I bring to you. If you enjoy them, I would absolutely love it and appreciate it if you can share this with other people in your life. Now, if you think that you can bring those conversations to the podcast and have a great time with me, just talking back and forth, I would so love to have you on. Or if you know somebody who would be a great resource for the show. Again, it's just empowering others to really find creative connections and being the best that they can possibly be and enjoying life the way that it was meant to be enjoyed. So thank you for joining me in this short episode. Um, I said that I would share more about myself. I feel like that covered a lot of me. But I was born in Vietnam. I came to America in 1993, and we really, myself and my siblings, have really acquired the English language. And I mean, have thrived. We really enjoy it here in America. I've personally been back only one time, but I hope to go back to Vietnam in the future with my children once they're just a little bit older. My eldest daughter is actually really connected to her Vietnamese culture, which I'm very proud of, because growing up in America, as I was struggling to learn the language and to fit in, I really wanted nothing more than to just be white. the neighborhood that I grew up in, there were a lot of white people. And for me, as a 6-year old, 7-year old, 8-year old, you just want to belong. You just want to be like everybody else. And that was my experience. When I was asked, say this in Vietnamese, how do you say this and that? I kind of shunned my culture. I wanted to just be left alone. I wanted to just be like everybody else. And the interesting thing is, as we get older, and learn more about ourselves and the people around us, it's like, wow, I really want to stand out as an individual. I want to be me and appreciate myself for who I am. And then when you have kids, it's even more important because you want them to own themselves and their individuality. And the only way that they can do that is to be able to see that in us, in their parents, in their the people around them. So it's taught me a lot becoming a parent. It's taught me a lot being an Asian American, being a woman, being just explorative, a digital creator, being online, all of these things, being present. I've learned so much. There's still so much more to learn and so much more to explore, but that's the whole purpose of this podcast and why I'm bringing this to you. And I hope that if that excites you in any way, that you do some more exploring and learning for yourself and bring that to the conversation. Come reach out to me, connect with me online, find me on social media, Nin Din, Connections Queen on most platforms, and let's have a go. Have a conversation about creativity, about how your business is going, about how your mindset has changed, about how to live life and how that has made things so much simpler for you. How have you removed yourself from other people's expectations and their judgments? How have you stopped judging yourself and others? How are you implementing meditation or presence in your life? And how has that brought joy to you and your family and all the people around you? How do you incorporate creativity in your life? Of course, monetization of these things also matter, right? What is unique about you that can be brought to these conversations? I would love to learn more. I would love to know where you're connecting from and get to know who you are as well, because this doesn't work if there's not a listener, right? I don't mind talking to myself and speaking into the ether, but it is really cool to know that there's someone on the other end. So please reach out, connect with me. I look forward to revisiting again in 2 weeks, if not in another week. But as the schedule is going right now, it's probably going to be 2 weeks from now. But if it's next week, then it'll be a delightful surprise. Thank you so much for joining in another episode of Creating Connections, and let's stay connected.